Hello there, Internet. My name is Mogwai, and ahead of us lies yet another brilliant day in the arena. And today we're going to showcase a deck that is quite nuts. And there I lost half my subscribers. We have a Squirrel Golgari build. Like Rick Sanchez said in that one Rick and Morty episode, don't fudge with squirrels. They fudge with you. He didn't actually say that, but I want to keep things PG, you know, make my videos more accessible. But yeah, basically squirrels, low-key, are evil, mischievous, and potentially deadly. We have here a tribalistic, fast-paced mid-range deck with food token synergy and graveyard interaction. A deck that tries to spread out with squirrels, buff them, and beat the opponent down to a pulp, while we also get to incorporate very efficient interaction removal, not only for creatures, but also potentially for enchantments as well. I'm going to dive more into that in a bit, but let's TLDR the deck real quick, you know, for those of you who want to know what this is about. Quite simply, what are squirrels in Magic the Gathering with Bloom Barrow? Well, squirrels are aimed to be played with a Golgari combination of colors because of CAMELLIA the Seed Miser and Vine Reap Mentor, which are extremely good creatures. And what it is essentially a deck that creates food, aka nuts. You know, they pile up the nuts, then they eat the nuts, and that brings in more hungry squirrels, and then they eat more nuts, and they grow and become stronger because carbohydrates and protein and all that shit. And you eventually end up with a very strong board state that is quite resilient as well, because you can bring back stuff from the graveyard onto the board again, and you beat them down. Most often than not with something like the Honored Dray Leader. This is one of the prime win conditions within the Squirrel archetype. It's a 3-mana 1/1 with Trample, and whenever it enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on it for each other squirrel and or food you control. But that's not it. Whenever another squirrel or food you control enters the battlefield, you put more +1/+1 counters on Honored Dray Leader. This guy, I've had him pretty reliably go up to like 10 or 11 power if left unchecked, very quickly reaching the likes of a 7/7 stat line, which is very good for 3 mana, in case you're wondering. 3 mana, 7/7 trample, good. You learned it here. As the deck is built around CAMELLIA, though. Like, the Honored Dray Leader is a win condition, a very powerful card here, but CAMELLIA is what really brings this deck together. A 3-mana Golgari Legendary Squirrel Warlock with a 3/3 stat line and Menace, also giving Menace to your other squirrels. I just love the fact that she turns your squirrels into menaces. Like, the thematic, the flavorness of the design of this archetype is off the charts. I don't even know where to begin. Whenever you sacrifice one or more foods, you get to create a squirrel token that you see right there. And then for 2 mana, you can forage. I remind you guys, forage is a mechanic that implies, it's a requirement. It's like, you know, when cards say, sacrifice a creature to do this. Forage is that. But in order to meet the requirement for forage, you have to exile 3 cards from your graveyard, any cards, or sacrifice a food. And again, whenever you sacrifice a food, you're generating a squirrel token. So if you go for 2 mana and forage, sacking a food to put a +1/+1 counter on each squirrel you control, that +1/+1 counter will also be going into the brand new squirrel token that you just generated within that series of stacks. So that's important to note as well. CAMELLIA turns your board into a menace. Okay, I thought I had another word there, but I'm sorry. I'm trying. Okay. What we have is a sick deck, man. My take on the Squirrel archetype, I feel very strongly about this. I playtested this deck a lot. I got a very nice 75% win rate with it in Mythic rank, and it just puts in the work. It plays off like an aggressive deck, but I would equate it more to the likes of Boros Convoke from the past standard meta, as it is a deck that focuses on building up your board, buffing it, and then going for the kill. There's a lot of setup going on here, but I personally adore the way they've implemented the synergies and how they've managed to combine food tokens, aka artifact tokens, with graveyard interaction. Like, I feel like that's the beauty of Magic the Gathering. You can just design, like, the sky's the limit. There's so many different archetypes, and I really think they nailed it with this. I think the expansion in general is absolutely fantastic, but I'm really, really impressed with what they did with Squirrels. They're just so fun to play. Let's talk about them a little bit more. Vine Reap Mentor is a key card. 2 mana Golgari 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, you create a food token, but it also does so when it dies. Very nice. This card entering and leaving the board will leave you with 2 food tokens. This deck is very hungry for nuts. Like, you cannot run out of nuts. The moment you run out of nuts, the squirrels get angry and they stop doing shit and they get lazy. So anger and laziness is not what we want out of our creatures. So we want to be able to generate these food tokens as reliably as possible, and we have the right means to do so. Let's talk about first the squirrels. Let's follow a proper pacing here, as we got the Bone Cache Overseer, we have the Osteomancer Adept as a full set, we have Divine Reap Mentor, like I mentioned, we do have a one-off of the Bushy Bodyguard, and then we got Honored Dray Leader, Camellia, and those are the squirrels right there. But then we have creatures beyond that. We have Bristlebutt Farmer, because he just fits this deck like a glove, despite not being a squirrel. It's fine, you know, they can have a plant dude fighting for them too, it's okay. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens. Whenever Bristlebutt Farmer attacks, you may sacrifice a food. If you do, mill 3 cards, and then you may put a permanent card from among those milled cards onto your hand. This ability works really well with our deck because we are self-milling, and our deck is just full of permanents, right? Mostly our creatures, our squirrel creatures. So it helps us build up our graveyard even further to have easier forage procs happening, while also allowing us to essentially draw a card whenever we attack with this thing. It just does so much. Entering the board, giving us 2 food tokens right off the bat, allows us to boost the Honored Dray Leader quite a bit, despite it not being a squirrel, and it's just a great, phenomenal card for this deck. As a 5/5 with Trample for 4 mana, like, that's a sick stat line, man. We got a one-off of Igra, Eater of All. 5 mana, 6/6 with Ward, sacrifice a food. Other creatures are food artifacts in addition to their other types, and they have the same ability as a food does. And whenever a food is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you put 2+1/+1 counters on Igra. It's a nice alternate win condition. It's not really what the deck is building up towards, but in some matchups, specifically control matchups, Igra can be absolutely essential to closing out the game. I'm talking about really, really drawn out games, because more often than not, you're going to be able to end the game before having to resort to something like Igra, which is why we only run her as a one-off here. When it comes to our, well, I've mentioned the squirrels. Let me not get too ahead of myself. Let me explain why I chose the squirrels that I chose. Like I said, I consider the Mentor a staple for the squirrel archetype. You know, there's not much more to that. Camilla is, you know, the key core pillar of the deck. Honored Dray Leader is a very reliable, very powerful win condition, period. But then Bone Cache Overseer is fantastic because it allows us to draw a card whenever we forage. You know, you see all that text, but that means if you forage. If you forage, you can tap this, pay 1 life, and draw a card. And as a 1-drop, that's also a squirrel. It's just amazing. There's nothing else like it. As then, Osteomancer Adept is one of my favorite cards as expansion. I am going to be playing this deck outside of squirrel builds because I think it does have potential outside of that. When we tap this, we can cast the creature spells from our graveyard by foraging in addition to paying their other costs. So this card allows us to turn our graveyard into a second hand, in which we can pick off the creatures and bring them back onto the board. So really playing into the whole thematic of the card, right? Like, it's a warlock, and you can see it's like resurrecting something with like a bunch of bones in the background. Like, he's like a necromancer, right? And I love everything about it. I love the flavor, I love the effect, and I think this card has a lot of potential, and it really connects, you know, being able to generate artifact tokens with graveyard interaction, which is something that we haven't really seen in Standard as of late. And I love it. I love it for that. And that's why we chose those. So we went over the creatures. Now let's talk about the instants and sorceries that we selected. Mostly removal. We have a full set of Feed the Cycle. We could go for other options like Go for the Throat, but I really like this because it can allow us to pop foods and therefore trigger Camilla. It can also allow us to pop foods and enable stuff like Bone Cache Overseer as well. And if not, we can just pay for 3 mana, and it allows us to destroy a creature or a planeswalker, which is pure flexibility, no downsides, no exceptions, and I really think it's a very, very neat tool for a squirrel deck. As then we have Cash Grab. Cash Grab, when you need the nuts, you go for this. You mill 4 cards, which plays perfectly into what we're doing, filling up that graveyard with stuff so we can forage or potentially bring stuff back with the Osteomancer, rather. You may put a permanent card from among the cards that you milled this way into your hand. If you control a squirrel or return a squirrel card to your hand this way, you create a food token. So with this deck, you're essentially milling 4, returning something to your hand, and creating a food token with this card, which is tremendous. We also have Paw Patch Formation, which I already spoke really highly of this card in the set review. I think this is one of the better mode-out spells within Standard, honestly. I'm not saying it's the absolute top tier. There are some really good ones, but this one is probably overlooked. It's really, really solid. Like, destroying target creature with flying or target enchantment, that gives us a tool against white-based decks with powerful enchantments. But then, if none of these options are good, we just use it to cycle through our deck and create a food token, which ends up being a very similar effect to Cash Grab. So, phenomenal card in this deck that, alongside a full set of Feed the Cycle, gives us a lot of interaction so we can focus on destroying the key pieces from our opponent's game plan while we continue to build ours. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the deck list right there. When it comes to the lands, really quick, I want to mention I have Fabled Passage as a one-off because it adds cards into the graveyard that allows me to forage easier. We have a couple of copies of Oak Hollow Village and a couple of copies of Mudfar Village, and then a full set of Restless Cottage, as it does play into our game plan. Is arguably the best man land in Standard as of right now. And of course, Cavern of Souls, so our Squirrels do not get countered. Really, really fun deck. Found a lot of success with it as well. And I'm very, very confident in my take on Squirrels. And you guys can let me know what you think. And hopefully you enjoy the games. Have a solid day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for daily Magic the Gathering content. We're only getting started, ladies and gentlemen, with this newfound Standard. And I ain't stopping yet. So yeah, love you. Have a solid day. Enjoy the matches. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, here we go. Let's unleash the Squirrels. Extremely fun archetype that is definitely even more interesting than I initially expected. It is of an aggressive nature though, but I am very excited to just explore these sort of like food-centric strategies because I feel like there's a lot you can do with them. And yeah, it's just a good time, man. It's a good time to be alive, to play some Squirrels. I'm gonna keep this hand. We got the Cavern of Souls with the Bone Cache, Overseer, and then we got Divine Reap Mentor. And I am going to discard a Paw Patch Formation, even though destroying enchantments could potentially be useful. I value my other cards more. We do find the Swamp though, so we're going to develop it. Prioritize it over the Cavern of Souls. I don't see no blue, so we don't really have to worry about counter spells here. And we can make use of the black mana for other potential draws later down the line. As we gotta go Mentor. Turn 2. The Bandit's Talent. This is a discard deck. Each player discards 2 cards unless they discard a non-land card. So I'm gonna have to discard this, right? Because I cannot afford to discard 2 lands here. Even though I just keep drawing them. With the Overseer, we could potentially draw later, but we need to stop drawing lands first. Now, I mean, if they discard us, we have easy options. We have 2 sources of black, another source of green here. We can discard the Cavern of Souls, to be honest. But it seems to be a discard deck with the new card, another one. Oh my goodness. That's pretty brutal. In the bone cache Overseer we trust. Is that a cut down? I would have targeted the other one. I mean, though to be fair, this is applying more pressure, but I can actually turn this into card draw. They have 2 Bandits' Talons. They can level these up. They just keep attacking our hand. It's a discard deck. They go for the Offspring. So they have this Landfall card. That's interesting. And they level it to 2. And so at the beginning of your each opponent's upkeep. Okay. I'm gonna sack a food. And that way I enable the Overseer and I can tap to draw a card. One of these two, like, they're probably gonna be able to tackle my hand after. The Dre leader is I need to play Camellia. I need to play Camellia because with the Restless Cottage, I could potentially get back into this game. Things are very tight though. And we're vulnerable to another discard effect. Karvik goes down. Right now there's no no, there is. Okay, so they're using Karvik with that. And they can recycle the cut down. They can recycle the cut down and take down the Bone Cash Overseer. And they can level up the other one. That's a cool combo. It's a pretty cool combo. They can level up that Bandit's Talent. And they can convert it to draw as well. It's a very good card here. We take a bunch of life here. Oh, we just don't have the mana to chain these, man. And we're just like so slow. I need to play the Adept though. It's annoying. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card for each opponent who has one or more or fewer cards in hand. I don't know what they're doing. The Osteomancer Adept is the way we get back in this game, but the Bandit's Talons is also wearing us down. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea what happened there. I cannot do that. I'm gonna take more damage here. If we keep these two in our hand, they won't draw a card, and I think that's extremely important. Because we can just use this. We can summon you and you to preserve some health. Let me think here for a moment.
Distractions. Let's make this quick. Drop it.
Okay. Okay, I can't play that. I have to keep these cards in my hand. But I also have to deal with you. So this two blockers go here. Like if I attack with these two, if I attack with these three and they block into one of these, I still guarantee kill that, and I can preserve that in the back because of the menace.
When they hit back.
I could draw. Then I can take out these two blockers here. Yeah, let's do that. Oh my goodness. Two cards in hand prevents us from taking the damage. Two cards in hand prevents us from... That's perfect. That's a lot of presence, but we don't take damage from that. You see how tight this is? Like, if the moment I have one card in my hand, I take 2 damage. Like, this enchantment is insane right here. But we have a lot of presence. The question is, do we have... We have no way to generate food. How strong is this swing? There's 8 damage here. 2, 3, so 2. They have 2 blockers for our menace. They can block 2 creatures. They block these 2. We have 8, 10, 11. Wait. 10, 11, 13. I think we have to go all in. I could have developed something to enhance my Honor Dre Leader. Oh, I could lose because of that. I think I should have developed before. We get rid of Karvik. We get rid of those 2. Wait, did I just kill Karvik? I missed the block. I should have killed Karvik. Oh my god. Why did I not kill Karvik? Oh my goodness. I derped there, guys. I absolutely derped there. Oh, but we got him! Oh my god! Oh, okay. I choked there though. I made okay. So I made 2 key misplays there, and I really want to go over them. Like, I'm sorry for anybody who's frustrated seeing this, but you know, when you're narrating your plays and everything, and like, it's hard to not slip, man. And we slipped twice on the same turn. I just thought that the auto block was gonna put that in for some reason, but I had to take down Karvik. And I had to develop the Honored Dre Leader so I would buff this Dre Leader so I would have lethal. So I missed lethal, and then I did not kill the Karvik. So, yeah, if I lost this game, I would have deserved to lose because of that. But, you know, never punished. Magic can be hard sometimes, man. Just don't make mistakes. You heard it here first. Let's go for another one. All right, Giravan. A win is a win, but let's play better. We need to play better. This is a decent hand. I really like 2 landers when going second. Okay, is this the new mono red? Okay, I like 2 landers going second, but I also like to draw lands, right? Yeah. They're gonna apply something onto it. Okay. So we know what they're gonna play next turn. Okay, we do draw into a land. And I kind of just want to develop you as a death touch blocker that can block into that if they want to play it, because they probably do want to play it. They're running low on gas, so they want to make use of every card they get. So that makes their play more predictable. And it's mono red, so we're playing to stay alive here. Unless they have some way to get it first strike. We have death touch. So okay. We're gonna hold back and preserve feed the cycle for removal here. Come on, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. You want that damage. You want to end this game. You're a mono red player. You want this to be over. The more lands I play, the more scared you get. Whenever a creature you control deals common damage, create a tap trust token. Yeah, no. Exactly. Booyah. Denied. Absolutely denied. You love to see it. I don't have the setting for these. What do I do? I could just kill this. If I go for the cash grab, I'm gonna try to play you. Oof. Okay. Nice. Okay, we got the food. They go for the lightning strike, and we are gonna combine. We're gonna go with this. We're gonna forage. Wait, cancel. We can actually not destroy the food. We can actually just forage with this. Yeah. Target you, and then we're actually gonna remove stuff from our graveyard. They're out of gas. I repeat, they're out of gas. And we just drew the perfect card. Divine Reap Mentor! We gotta get those nuts, man. We're running low on blood sugar, and we need them nuts. Let's apply some pressure. Let's get a little bit of damage in. We can't just fall asleep here, but the honored Dray leaders here are gonna come in and bring this game back, boy. I should play you, though. The Bristlebud Farmer! Look at that. Look at that growth. Look at that power! I want to end this. Maybe the attack was honestly excessive in hindsight. I should have preserved some blockers, but that's what today's about, man. Making mistakes and not caring. All right, so from mono red to what? What are we facing now? I'm gonna keep this. It's a 3-lander. Seriously? I was just kidding. I didn't want to run to that again. Oh God. Heartfire Hero Valiant. Whenever it becomes a target of an ability, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's like a prowess, but okay. Let's see. The second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. At the beginning of combat of your turn, if 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield in your turn, target creature with +1. Okay. I want to trade into this. Just to mitigate any potential extra damage. Now, you know, my honored Dray leaders are gonna be vulnerable at first. Something as simple as a shock. Double strike. Okay. That was a bit quick. Playing the honored Dray leader, like maybe I should have preserved the feed the cycle. This is kind of like an investment, though. Like, we're taking a little bit of damage here. So that's like 6, 8 damage threatening here. Dropping this down to 7. But if we play the Bristlebud Farmer, this thing goes up to a 3/3 stat line. And I feel I have to do that. I should have preserved the removal, to be honest. That's what I should have done. We play the Bristlebutt Farmer, and we hold back and try to not die here. If they double up on the same creature, I'll be able to easily chump block it. Unless they have trample, of course. I could trade these two into that, but I don't like that now. Yeah. Okay, that's a good draw. Okay, this is intense. Fabled Passage, which builds up our graveyard as well, allowing us to forage more. We play Camellia, and then we enable Feed the Cycle. Now Feed the Cycle is enabled. We can remove whatever for 2 mana and enable Camellia as well. Last card in hand, what is it? What is that? Whenever this creature becomes a target of mice you control get... Okay, oh shit. I'm gonna Feed the Cycle, triggering Camellia. Kill that. And now we have a blocker for you. The question is, do we want the Bristlebutt Farmer to live, or do we want Camellia to live? That's the question here. Camellia allows us to generate more blockers, which is really good with this. So I'm actually going to keep Camellia in. Oh, Camellia, clutch. Clutch right there. Okay. Let's build. Let's get back into this game. Gotta get that 3 leader to a 5/5 stat line. Camellia has a 3/3. We need to start applying pressure, but we also need to... I think we can definitely afford to attack here. We need to get some damage. We have Menace. They're out of gas. Boros, mice, English. They went wide, but man, that spawn with Camellia with the... Oh, God. Man, squirrels are really, like... Am I the only one who thinks this? Like, squirrels are just fun as hell. Like... Oh, God. Like, I love this archetype. It's just... There's so much nuance to it. Like, I love the mixing in artifact tokens with graveyard interaction. Like, this is awesome design. Oh, absolutely awesome design. Like, squirrels. I mean, I haven't even gotten to the frogs yet. Oh, my Deus. Yeah, they're really thinking here. They may also just be salty. They had a lot going on, but we weathered the storm. I feel like just having Camellia, considering we have a Bushy Bodyguard in hand, is ultimately going to lead... If we top deck into a land, we can Bushy Bodyguard with the Offspring, and then we can forage with Camellia. And all of a sudden, we're just good to go. Like, but that's why this prior damage is really important. I'm gonna stop talking until, you know, we actually connect, because, yeah, the opponent may have just gone AFK. And I'm here just, like, going with a monologue for no reason, so I'll see you in a bit. All right. They just let the timer completely go through, so they could have just rage quit, because they cannot accept the fact that squirrels are the superior rodent. Sometimes the truth is painful, but it doesn't stop being the truth. Why are you so mad, bro? I see your cheese, and I throw in the nuts. What the fuck am I saying? Thank God. If that would have dragged on longer, like, I honestly, like, it's good. Next one. Avarish. That's a cool avatar. Never seen that one before. We got a 3-lander and a curve as early as it can be, so they go for the mulligan. We see an Oak Hollow Village. I love, like, this is the best time to play, like, in any card game ever, when a new set happens and then rotation happens and people have to figure out standard again and they can't just, like, net deck blindlessly immediately. It is the golden age of trading card games, and I'm all for it. I'm gonna drop that Bone Cash Overseer as they play the Paw Patch Recruit. They don't Offspring off of it. Whenever a creature control becomes the target of a spell ability an opponent controls. No, I'm gonna block into that. I'm gonna get rid of that because those things can snowball, and I ain't about that. Vine Reap Mentor. Vine Reap Mentor, a little bit more muscle on the board. I'll keep trading into these recruits though. Selesnya Rabbits, and again, I'm trading into them. I'm not messing around here. Those things are a problem, and I'm just gonna get my food tokens and keep on about. I'm gonna develop the Cavern of Souls. Gonna play that Bone Cash Overseer and that Mentor again. And we're collecting. We got all the nuts online. Ah, oh, Jesus. I mean, getting rid of that is important. That thing can grow and get really big, and that's a problem. Bristlebot Farmer. This Honored Dray Leader is going to be insane. Absolute insanity. With 6 foods line up, boy, he's going to be eating all day, and the more he eats, the angrier he gets. It's a stomach condition, which we benefit from. Warren War Leader. I don't remember you. Whenever you attack, choose one, create a 1/1 attacking. Okay, so we're just going to have to block into one of these. They're going wide on us, trying to beat us down with all these little critters, and I ain't about that. I'm about you. Yeah. And I kind of, I definitely want to attack. Bop one of these so I can mill 3 and I can start generating some value here. Let's get another one, shall we? Another farming. We farming wins here. That was cringe, I'm sorry. We got the Dray Leader here ready to block. They're down to the last card. It's a rabbit! You did not see that coming. It's a fucking rabbit. Yeah, they just keep going wide. They're choosing whether to go +1/+1 or whether to continue spreading out. I don't think they have enough damage to push for that. I think they're gonna regret this. Like, yes, they push more damage now, but their board and their Regal Rabbit are weaker. And I just want to keep on farming, bro. This is all I want to do. I kind of want to swing with you. Sack of food, do it again. Just generate this insane value. Look at that. They don't have great blocks into this. And this farmer has not only farmed us value, but also damage. 10 damage down, 10 to go. Farm again. Pump up our Dray Leader. The sky's the limit. Drop that third Bone Cash Overseer. They got the restless prairie though. We gotta keep that in mind. Another bunny! They just keep, man, they just don't stop reproducing. That's why this species is so successful and alive today, man. They shag more than anybody. Many of them die, but just as more come after. It's honestly obnoxious. I'm gonna go ahead and I want to end this game. Can I go over them? This honored Dray leader can do a lot, and I want to attack with the honored Dray leader and just force some blocks. And the best way to do that is just developing you first. And trying to surprise them here. Trying to make them go for the bare minimum, which is blocking with these two. Hello? What? My plan here was to have them be like super greedy and just block with these two rabbits. And then go for the cash grab, which would give me a food token and pump up this +1/+1. But Honored Dray Leader really proving in this game what a win condition he can be, especially in a mid-range matchup where removal is more scarce. But this was all about the farmers, though. The farmers just farmed. Solid game. I feel like playing another one. Cold Future. Bit of a cynical game, name, I guess, but I'm just kind of like, I was about to say something, but then I saw 3 Camellias in my opener, and I'm like, ugh. But despite that, I'm going to keep this because, hey, one Camellia goes down, then I get to play another one, right? Right? It's going to be fine. It's probably not going to be fine. Oh, dear God, what was I thinking? Okay. Cash grab. Bring me the nuts. Bring me the nuts. All of them. I was thinking about playing Camellia, but I think just playing the Vine Reap Mentor is overall better. Getting these food tokens is important, especially in a matchup like this. Though, to be fair, like, we have no removal. Having no removal is really scary. And this is the moment they're going for the attack here. And that's a total of 8 damage coming our way. And that just may be a little bit too much for us to handle, honestly. I want to play the Bristlebutt Farmer and see if like they run low on gas, but it's looking like that's game. Double strike trample. There's no way around it. Okay. I cry every time. It was a bit of a sus keep, to be honest. All right, redemption. Time for the redemption. This is a risky keep, but I'm gonna keep it because our curve is low. And we're just like one land draw away from really being able to work here. We see black and blue. We see a blooming marsh there. We're gonna connect first. I see that mana open, and I'm expecting maybe a potential counter spell, so I want to drop the Bone Cache Overseer and pass here. I think they have a counter spell lined up there, so playing Camellia would walk right into it, and we have the Paw Patch formation to cycle through. Or we can just do this. Fuck your bet. Fuck your bet. That could have been a singer. Here we go. Swing. Squirrels. Assemble. Camellia. Restless Cottage. Here we go. Here we go. Let's end it on a sweet win. Come on. We've gone under them. I mean, you know, one more. That wasn't an actual match. Let's go for one more. All right, Segovax, you will be our final boss. And this is a keeper. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a keeper. Bone Cache Overseer into Vine Wrap Mentor Curve here with all the mana available. Paw Patch Formation, which can be good. Like, this card is just like, this is a great card, man. Could have misclicked there and ruined the perfect hand. We play Vine Rape, and we continue to curve out. We see, okay, a Surge Engine deck. Interesting. Do we have? We don't have ways to deal with that right now. I do like just playing the Honored Dre Leader, though. And race him. You want to beat me down with this? Oh, okay. I love that trade. I absolutely love that trade. I'm surprised they went for it. They must have some sort of graveyard interaction. But whenever you see Surge Engine, foot on the gas pedal. That's what you got to do, because this thing will beat you down if you sleep on it. Okay. Okay. Hard-hitting question. We gotta punch through. Honored Dre Leader. They have hard-hitting question, but if we get our Honored Dre Leader big enough... Okay, so it's Simic Food. This is Simic Food. Very good deck. And also like a really cool deck, to be honest. Like I really like it. I think it's well done. I gotta win with these Dre Leaders though. Like I gotta beat them down, right? Like that's the way. Right now we're stuck on 3 mana. But the way we do so is with these. And I'm gonna play you before I attack. I'm worried about a bounce. Like a 1 mana bounce. But to be fair, like that could just be this thing. We double up. We double up on them. And we swing with everything. We put our opponent on the clock. And that's fine because we have Menace, so we force him to trade that, and we take out the tough cookie. Not so tough after all, huh? Yeah! Getting rid of tough cookie is important. It's a powerful enabler. Okay, there's Agatha's Soul Cauldron. They're gonna crew with that. They get rid of that. But they swing? Is this an honorable Sudoku? This could be honorable Sudoku. I'm not even gonna risk trading to that. Honorable Sudoku indeed. Simic Food. A legit meta deck. Brought down to its knees. You love to see it. With the Honored Dre Leaders yet again. Proving to be an amazing win condition for the Squirrel archetype. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a video. That is a sick session we had. We got some great climbing. Some awesome games. and we got to just beat down our opponent with Squirrels. And I think I showcased a really strong portion of what this deck is about. I think I didn't get to... I got to showcase the Ostomancer at depth, I'm pretty sure. But I played this card a lot more in my playtesting. And it's a card that I was very excited to showcase because I think it's one of the coolest cards this expansion. Like I'm going to play this outside of Squirrel decks, in case you're wondering. Like, this card is... But yeah, that was sick. That was sick. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of squirrel action. You can notice why Rick and Morty was right after all. You know, you can't trust them. But if they're on your side, they're fun as hell. Love you. Have a solid day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for daily Magic the Gathering content. Hope you enjoyed the games. I'll see you guys tomorrow.